is a ways off. So, but yeah, here you go. IPL Face Off San Francisco Showdown, like I've mentioned before. If you're just joining us, Curse and Legion have already qualified. Now it's just for the seeding and the monies. Curse, first ban out, going to be Janna. And then, Janna, Karthus, just very similar bans to what Game 1 had in store for us. So, you mentioned before, Malphite ban is a possibility. I was still wondering why Legion Game 2 didn't ban out Morgana, but it ended up not being too really much of an issue, so I'm guessing that's why. Not expecting a Jace ban. I don't think so. But yep, Janna, Vlad, looking very much like Game 1.
Yep, definitely get rid of some of those strong AoE teams. We'll have to see what else they get rid of. Out of Curse's team, trying to think. I mean, they could ban the Morgana. Morgana would work, but I think they're comfortable with leaving Morgana open. It's kind of a risky decision to leave it open. So, if Curse had taken the Morgana and run more of a standard AoE comp, with a strong AD in the back. The issue is they never had an AD the last game. Elements was doing okay in the bottom lane, but Jace isn't going to be your main AD carry in most situations. He can be in some situations. And then, Vayne. We all saw what happened with Vayne.
Yeah, Vayne did not have the best time. So, Malphite will be the last ban for Curse. So, so far, Alistar open, Nocturne open. Yeah, Alistar and Nocturne are open here. So, either one would be amazing.
Yeah.
An amazing first pick for Curse. I'm guessing a Nocturne. I'm thinking
Nocturne. I was just thinking the same thing. They're both really strong first picks. There's a couple of other choices, but it's probably going to be one of the two of those. The Alistar, though.
There you go.
So there you go. Elements. He does play a lot of Alistar.
So, but if Nocturne is left open, I'm sure if Legion doesn't take it here, Curse will just go ahead and take it outright next time around. Sticking with the Rumble and the Nunu, though, it worked out really well for Game 2.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you can send Rumble mid. If they allow the Morgana to happen, then they're like, all right, we get a free farm lane in the mid lane.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter that much. Rumble can go top or mid. He is a very strong overall champion, and then has a lot of team fight control. And, if he snowballs like last game, that's always a bonus.
Yeah. So just waiting for the lock-in on the Nunu here. And, Nunu jungle, I mean, with the recent patch, it has been brought back to actually almost literally about where he was about a year ago. Because,
not quite, but...
Almost. It's almost.
He seems solid. I think he's very different from a year ago because now a lot more of the focus on Nunu has been shifted to the support side. And jungle Nunu now it's basically the support Nunu, except you're not playing out of the support position. You're playing in the jungle position. And he was always a support jungler, but you get the blood boil, you're expecting the late game control. Nunu used to be the most feared counter jungler in the game. Now he's just kind of there. He just exists in the jungle, but that's fine. I mean, there was a time where he was just so slow you couldn't play him, namely a month ago. So it's nice to see him back to that situation. But it used to be you would go as Nunu. This is my favorite build on Nunu. You jungle Nunu, you start off with boots, a ward, and a health pot. You walk over, you steal their blue wraith, then you go get your own blue. Actually, you steal blue wraith, you drop a ward up at their red, then go get your own blue, then walk up, steal their red, sit in the bush, and wait for them to walk into you, and you just kill them. And you could kill almost anyone. You were faster than anyone in the jungle for that speed. It was cool. It was easy to do.
But then this was also during the old jungle. And when there wasn't really too much of a thing at the time called counter jungling. It wasn't really too much.
I mean, it was still there. Counter jungling, some would argue that counter jungling was a lot more significant back then. Now it's a little bit more significant on the buffs for counter jungling because the buffs are such a large percentage of your golden experience in the jungle. But it was a lot more counter jungling for wraiths and wolves and that kind of stuff at that point in time because they were a lot more valuable. You could steal the wraiths and really set someone behind. You could start off at mini golems and get level 2 right off of it, go quick ganks or something.
So Graves and Soraka going to be picked for Curse at the bottom lane, so it's going to be a very sustaining Graves, and I doubt I doubt Cop is going to be giving him up. I doubt he's going to be giving up to Elements. But that also true is, hey, Alistar, he's going to be in the jungle, he's going to be running amok, and there you go, trying to establish the bot lane for Legion is looking like Corki Sona.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. So Sona is a really strong champion. We haven't seen a lot of her. Oh, Ezreal Sona. I like that even better. So Ezreal Sona is actually one of the strongest burst harass lanes in the game. Sona, you always kind of underestimate how much damage she has when it goes off. Early game harass is just phenomenal. She had to be nerfed so many times because of how strong it was. But a quick Q to the face, then an auto attack with your passive up can chunk an AD carry like Graves for, a third of his HP. And then Ezreal has the same thing. He has that kind of long range harass. So they know, all right, Soraka, we don't want to go a kill lane necessarily. We could have. They could have gone a kill lane. But they want to go with this AoE team. So they have Rumble, but they also have the Sona ultimate. So they can sit there, play a defensive bot lane, have all this massive AoE CC and damage, and then Ezreal can clean up.
Poppy being considered for Curse. I'm not I'm not investing a whole lot of thought into that one. I doubt that's going to be the pick. But there we go. Rise. Rise is a pretty good pick. And Olaf looking to be the top lane here for Curse. I think we've got our team pretty much established here.
Well, and they have both mid and top lane are champions that can do very well against Rumble. So not grabbing a Morgana or something where they would have a nice AoE team with Morgana, but it allows Rumble to go mid again and see if he can repeat from last game. So we'll see how that'll kind of work out. Jax. So Rumble is going to go mid lane again, unless they kind of switch this up. We'll have to see how that's going to kind of work. But Jax has been kind of in and out of play a lot recently.
Yeah, and Jax top lane against the Olaf is going to help. It's going to be Jax does really well against a lot of AD bruisers. But here's the thing, though: you do have Olaf, you do have the true damage. You can put quite a bit of hurt on Jax before he hits 6.
Yeah, well, the thing is, even after he hits 6, Olaf is just a champion that you look to get kills in lane. So you play defensively, you can lane against most people. Some lanes you can even bully around as Olaf with your true damage. But at some point in time, you throw off the ghost, you just chase them down, kill them underneath the tower, you throw off your ultimate. He can get rid of the stun from Jax, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So we'll have to see. That'll be kind of interesting. Rise against Rumble. Rumble has to play kind of up front, close to the line. So Rise, once he gets a little bit of mana, he can, spam that harass onto Rumble. That's something that Morgana doesn't have. Morgana has quick burst kill potential, but she doesn't really have strong harass, which is why most of the Morgana lanes turn into free farm lanes. Rise, on the other hand, he can, throw off a snare, just get a lot of damage really quick onto Rumble.
So there you go. Cruiser top lane with that. Jax probably going to be mid with that Rumble. So Nunu jungle, once again. Like you said, like I mentioned before, it worked out. The new Rumble combo worked out really well for Legion Game 2. Might as well go ahead and stick with it. Saint Vicious going to be on that Alistar in the jungle, looking to try and get some super aggressive ganks, and that could actually really put Rumble out of position. I wonder if Alistar is actually going to be focusing down mid quite a bit.
Yeah, that's a really scary combo, having the Rise with the Alistar. It's something that Rumble's going to have to watch out for because he's already going to be at threat from Rise. So if he ever comes in to farm and isn't just using his harpoons to farm, then very quickly there's the Rise snare into the CC from Alistar. So that's a serious threat. One thing I really like about Legion's team is the fact that Nunu, he can use the Blood Boil either for Ezreal or for Jax late game. So, that's going to be really nice having that potential. Jax could just become an absolute monster while Ezreal can kind of take a step back.
So now, do you think bot lane for Legion, are you expecting any kills?
No.
No?
No. It's against Soraka. If Curse misplays it or if they get out of position or something, then there could be some kills. They have a lot of damage output. Ezreal is a great duelist, but both of the lanes, they're just going to kind of play defensively. If Legion can get some harass onto Curse, they would love to. That would be fantastic in their minds. But Soraka's just going to heal it up anyway, so it's not really that big of a deal. So it's primarily just going to be a farm lane and then using the Sona for later in the game for fights.
Now, do you think Curse, are they in a better spot this game than they were last game with the mid Rumble?
Yeah, 100%. Like for all the reasons that I've already stated.
I'm just covering all the bases here.
Yeah, no, I got
covering all the bases.
Rise, he can bully around Rumble to an extent. Rumble should be okay at farming, but it is going to be a much more dangerous lane for him. He'll have to watch out. It is going to be kind of interesting though. It's a very short range team for Curse. They Rise, Olaf, Graves. So Graves is 525 attack range, and that means he's going to be walking right into, Sona's ultimate, for example, Rumble's ultimate, Nunu's ultimate. So he's putting himself in kind of harm's way. But if the front line holds up, they do have also a really tanky team up front, and if they can kind of push forward, then the Cop should be okay. Like it could be difficult for Cruiser to engage on the Cop. So if they can protect Cop on the back line, then they should be okay with fights. But it is going to be worrisome if they get initiated on.
Yeah, but then again, with a lot of games that Curse plays, Cop is usually the one. He's there. He is the big cleanup crew. Saw with Tristana game 1. He's actually doing an amazing job, just picking up the front line. Is like capitalizing on everyone, placing down a lot of damage, and he can get really well fed if the situations prevent himself, and he's absolutely the top level AD player to go ahead and fit in that role.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm really excited to see how this works out, though, because both teams, they have a lot of potential. The Jacks should be really interesting. So the big concern for Curse is the fact that as the game progresses, Legion has all these, really high damage dealers, Rumble and Jax in particular, Ezreal to a lesser extent, but they have a lot of damage, they have a lot of AoE, and so who are you going to focus? One of the issues with Rumble is a lot of times if you can engage on him, you can kill him really quickly. Like if Alistar later in the game in teamfights gets a headbutt pulverize combo onto Rumble, then Ryze follows it up, or if Ryze has a flash snare or something, they could really just burst down Rumble almost instantly. But then the issue they're going to have to deal with is, Sona with the ultimate followed up by the Jax damage and whatnot. If they catch Rumble out of position, they're probably, doing okay. They're probably doing pretty well for themselves. But it's still going to be a concern.
And as we head in here, this is it. Game number 3, Legion versus Curse. No boots on the supports, but then again, these are not really initiating supports. Nothing really to be expected from them, but it does seem that right now Curses, they're setting up for the invade. Might actually be going up through the river to go through to blue. And Legion, they're taking the defensive stance here.
Yeah, Legion's level 1 fight is vastly inferior to Curse.
Yeah.
Legion has a lot of damage level 1, like Sona and Ezreal in particular. They're two of the stronger champions level 1 for bursting someone down. However, the follow-up isn't really there.
Oh,
so
Curse, can you get in the bush quick enough? I don't think. No, there you go. Now I got vision. Legion does see Curse. They know what they're up to. It's just a matter of can you get out in time? Can something happen? Westrice throwing an axe into the bush just to check, just to see if anyone is there, but alas, they are not. And Curse is just making laps at this point.
Yeah, so Legion going to back off for a second. That's fine. I mean, Nunu, I think with the changes, he's probably a very safe jungler in that he doesn't need to start blue necessarily. It helps, it's clearly going to help with that spam ability. But the fact that they dropped his passive so significantly, it will allow him to jungle a little bit more easily. So we'll have to keep an eye on how that kind of works. But in the meantime, I think it's kind of interesting that Sona has gone with the blue bot. So that is probably indicative of she's expecting to use heal more, which means a defensive lane. Just kind of sit back, spam out those heals to keep Ezreal in shape. And, it could be for harass, but it's going to be tough to harass against a Soraka.
So there you go. Blue buffs are starting to spawn. Cop and Elements grabbing the small golems as well. Gonna have a nice little XP lead going on into lane. Demon Wall and Nubish are actually helping out with the blue buff. Nunu not gonna be using the smite just yet. We'll see where he goes after he finishes that. But there you go. Saint Vicious, level 2, headbutt and pulverize, looking for an aggressive gank up top lane. May actually see if he can make something happen down on Jax, who is still level 1 at the moment, mind you. Cruiser could be in a bad spot here.
Yeah, he could drop really quickly unless he gets the jump back to one of his minions as the headbutt goes off. So he's really going to have to watch out.
Actually, still hasn't. He hasn't bought any skills yet.
There we go. So he does get the jump though, because he will need that. And actually, Saint Vicious coming in.
Coming on in, can make something happen onto Jax. He's waiting in that bush. Does leveled up to 2. There's a headbutt. There is the pulverize right mid jump. Cruiser will not be getting to safety, but there he goes. He is ignited. Can anything else happen here? Westrice now in the thick of it. Cruiser, will you go down? Yes, first blood going down to Westrice, but Freaker is also still here. He does have double buff that does look pretty tasty, but he will flash away and get to safety.
Yeah, so really nice job. The level 2 ganks from Alistar are just so devastating. And if they can get Olaf ahead of Jax, then he could potentially shut down Jax and be really aggressive with that spam. Just walk up and zone him out. And actually, Nunu getting caught out of position. Westrice throwing off the cleave, but St. Vicious is here as well. The red buff, Westrice is pretty close to going down, so St. Vicious needs to throw off some support. But actually, the minions are crushing Frieger right now.
Wow.
He is going down. One more attack. Yes.
St. Vicious going to have that double buff, and there's also still a red for the taking on Curse's side. This is a wonderful, wonderful start for Curse right now. And not to mention Nijaki pushing the wave into Probably. Bot lane, Elements and Cop, they're looking okay. Noobish, not much so. About 200 health left. A quick burst could actually take out Sona.
Yeah, so I mean, there's not really that much of a threat against a Soraka of the quick burst taking you down. They can just sit back, play a little bit more defensively. But Soraka does have the heal advantage, so you can constantly kind of throw off harass, have that regen, and try and win your lane that way. Or they can just push into the tower. Right now, because of the defensive nature of Legion's lane, it's naturally pushing, but we'll see whether or not CLG or Curse keeps on pushing right into the tower if Cop just constantly throws Ezreal into the tower to try and deny some of that gold.
So there you go, top lane, and Olaf is now looking to throw his weight around. Does have a level lead on the well, it's not he's minimal. He's gonna take 1 minion and then digging up to 4. But yep, Westrice he's doing.
Oh, but Alistar in the mid lane coming onto Rumble once again.
Nice.
There's going to be the snare follow up. Probably dropping really quickly the ignite. He gets the flash out of there, but St. Vicious tanking the turret is actually going to go down. So in exchange, Rumble for St. Vicious.
Demon Will down bot lane is actually getting pretty chunked out very well. The ignite going down will not be enough. Demon Will does actually go and get the kill on the Soraka, but no, Todd. Oh, the smoke screen damage actually manages to just get there.
Yeah, really aggressive play from Demon Law. Almost worked out. He got the arcane shift for the kill, but not able to get out of there. And now Cruiser throwing some harass onto Westrice, but he is behind in this lane. Westrice is going to pick up all the CS as it comes into his tower.
Yep, so that's going to be a nice, easy spot for him to farm in. And Cruiser just looking for some harass. Got the Empower, does pretty well. And going to jump to safety and go ahead back for now. But unfortunately, with Alistar going down in mid, since Rumble did die, those double buffs did evaporate into the ether. So, but it's okay. Still got a red buff for the taking for St. Vish. He's going to grab that for himself right now. And he's going to have that for ganks for quite some time as well.
Yeah, so he could just come right back into this mid lane. Rumble, he does have a ward towards the top half of his lane, top river, so he's going to want to shy towards that side. It is also the long side, so it gives him a really nice defensive spot away from that the bot river. There's not really a strong ganking path for Alistar, so he should be pretty good there.
Cop Elements looking to continue pushing that lane. Soraka's on Curse's side. What am I saying? Sona is not with Ezreal at the moment, so he's a little bit unprotected, and this is allowing Cop and Elements all the time they need. Just sit back, get that far.
But Rumble is coming bot.
He's coming. He's making his way down. There is not sufficient ward coverage for Curse right now, but they do see Sona. They're backing off. Sona is not 6. No, Rumble isn't 6 either, so there's really no ults, but Elements is pure damage, and it's going to be more than enough to take out the Soraka.
They do have to watch out for Alistar, though. They get out of there fine. The movement speed from Sona, they can back off.
Yes. So there you go. Rumble now dinging 6. He may just decide to camp out this lane. If Cop gets a little bit too crazy, the ult can go down, and there you go. Coming on in. Will we see the ult? Yes, you will. Curse Cop caught in the AoE. It's too much damage. Probably was still camping that lane, and he got what he wanted. But meanwhile, top lane, though, Cruiser is being pushed to tower. Nijaki is here as well. There goes the root. There goes the damage. Westrice, will we be able to get out of here? No, unfortunately not. And Cruiser trying to get some damage. Nijaki, no!
The double kill for Cruiser. Awesome job. It's really tough to...
That was all turret.
It's really tough to dive a Jax, though. Even with the ultimate where, Olaf didn't have to worry about the stun, there was still the dodge to deal with. Yep. So really nice job from him. And all of a sudden, Legion transitioning back into this game. There was an early advantage for Curse, and they're looking pretty good. And so Jax is, a kind of lane that he can easily bully around Olaf. Despite Olaf's kill potential, 1v1 just head-to-head, if Olaf isn't going for kills, Jax will win this lane now. So they have to worry about that. Probably he still has to deal with Ryze. That's going to be an issue, and he is a little bit behind in CS right now, but actually not really. So Ryze leaving the lane a little bit also. They're both even. We'll see if he can transition those early kills into that kind of Rumble snowball.
Yep. Hey, we saw what happened last game. You saw what happens when Rumble snowballs. It is a very devastating sight, and probably looking really good this early on, and we'll see if that continues. Meanwhile, you take a look at the gold. Bot lane, there's an advantage. Mid lane is pretty even. Top lane also even. So like right now, a lot of the gold, right now a lot of the gold is actually being focused down onto bot. But we'll also see where Ezreal and Sona decide to take that. Cop still has some ways to go ahead and make up for some of that. The wave is fortunately pushed up to them at the moment, so there's a lot of opportunities going to be taken here. They can play defensive, you sit back, they can farm, and you got Soraka. That's what you're there to do.
Yeah, and so in the meantime, they will all sit back. Again, all the lanes, they can play very defensively at this point, but it really just comes down to Rumble looking for kills, and he's getting some damage onto Nijaki. Maybe going to throw off the ultimate. No, just going to back off. It's really difficult for a Rumble to chase into a Rise just because of the snare.
Yeah, well, that's really it's difficult for anyone to chase into a Rise with a snare. It's like you got your Sins, you got your Nods, you got pretty much everyone. And
but
it's instant.
It's move champions as opposed to champions with gap closers, and since Rumble doesn't have a gap closer.
Yeah, no, he does that. Yeah, that he does not. That ward is just about to expire too, and they're actually going to go ahead and find Legion out as they're moving on into.
Yeah, and
jungle.
they just saw it die. They pinged it, so they recognize that they've been spotted. They need to get back for a second.
Yeah, when a ward does die, you do see it actually just kind of vanish just quickly. So if you happen to be near a ward as it's dying, if you're just walking around, it's like, hey, there's a ward. Why is that there? There's a ward on the other team just expiring.
Oh, but Alistar and Rise, they're setting up here. Probably a little bit out of position. No, they didn't pinch him off. They actually could have killed him almost instantly if Alistar had engaged on it and knew he was there. But
fortunately enough, Legion will actually manage to get out to safety. And, the gold lead, though, like Curse is edging out, though. I mean, they have managed to go ahead, continue their farm. They're looking to climb back out of this hole, man.
Yeah, and Rumble, in the past just 2 minutes, he's fallen behind drastically to Rise. But actually, Nunu coming in.
Again. Where's the snowball? Can you see it? We're looking for waste of the Indian. Nijak is actually just going to go ahead, stay and fight this, and just flash out of the Nunu ult after getting the kill
and
the
Rumble ult.
And here comes Alistar. Here comes St. Vicious. Could look to come and make this even better situation, but no. Nunu will back off. Wow.
Yeah, really nice play from Nijaki, getting the quick kill. And that was the issue, is that Rumble he's not tanky enough at this point. So he has to deal with the fact that Rise is just going to wreck him. So, Nijaki doing a nice job there. Nijaki probably could have positioned himself towards the mid lane and forced Nunu to run back towards mid. If he positioned himself towards the blue, forced Nunu to run back mid, and he would have been able to get the kill. But I think he just wanted to get out of there. He didn't really know where anyone was.
So Freaker's just going to go ahead and take mid in Rumble's steed, but there you go, Cruiser and West Rice looking to battle it out. The ult has been popped for Olaf, and there's the ult has been popped from
Olaf. Oh, the flash.
Nice flash away from Cruiser to get out of the headbutt, like last possible second. That was amazing.
Yeah, and it always feels like the most impressive thing whenever you see a flash out of the Alistar headbutt, but it's really just standard operating procedure. Still, really nice job for him to get out. Yeah, I think it's amazing too.
Not many people
it's always
can
cool.
do that. Not many people can go ahead and have that Twitch timing like that.
Yeah, the timing is nice.
I do not have that timing. I don't. I am very envious whenever I see something like that. I was like, man, I wish my reaction time was that good.
Yeah, so in the meantime, Cruiser is doing well top lane. Olaf is going to have the gold advantage as a result of those gold pretends, but as the lane progresses further and further, Jax is going to pull further and further ahead because he's going damaging items and regen that Olaf doesn't have, which means he can just bully him around, he can split push, and start shutting down Olaf's farm and just continue to farm himself. And the later the game goes, the more and more that's going to be a threat for Legion.
All right, Cop elements there. No one's down here. They're going to go ahead and push the lane. Get those creeps to deny themselves at the tower. Rise returning
Harakiri
to mid. There you go. He's got a level advantage right now on Probably, actually straight out level, pretty much. Nunu still looking to see where's St. Vicious. He's right there on that ridge. There is a ward in the bush. They do know that Rumble's right there, but I don't believe they actually got the vision on Alistar. So St. Vicious, he's going to take the opportunity, walk around. But oh, look at this. There's a dragon being started by Freaker and Anubish. And Curse is not actually too far behind. They may try and contest this. There you go. There's Jax looking for the engage on Nijaki. Rumble ult going down, but there's a lot of damage. There you go. True Shot Mirage will not be getting anyone, and Nunu ult will be empty. There's Graves. Cop has joined the fight. Cruiser out in front, and there's a Sona ult not getting anything off of that one.
Super noobish, but they're able to back off. So no dragon going down, but none of them died. So you know. it's not a loss.
True Shot Barrage got nobody. So Crescendo got nobody. Nunu ult, that didn't get anybody either. So there's Curse. They're mid. They're throwing their weight around, and they took a huge chunk off mid-tier 1.
Yeah, they could actually take it down in this next wave if they decide to. Probably, is he recalling? Yes, he is. So it's only going to be 3 members of Legion defending this. Curse is actually not going to press it. I thought they would and just, take the tower advantage really quickly. But Graves wants to go bot, wants to get all that farm. Yep. And Jack's actually going top as well, so he's going to pick up some as well.
Cruiser going the long way to try and get back up to top, but he's realizing he's not going to meet the creep wave. He's just going to go ahead and back. And Curse, they're just going to go sit back, take the run blue, secure it. But keep in mind, that was a dragon fight. Dragon is also still up and available for the taking.
Curse actually,
Cruiser
actually
didn't go
himself.
back. Oh, this could be bad. This could be really bad for Cruiser. There you go. There is the root. And here's Westrice with all the damage necessary, trying to dodge it. Axe to the back.
And so he was sitting around in the bush for a while, hoping to see someone come up. Yeah. No one came.
Well,
he was like, all right.
Well, they did come.
Yeah, no, I know. But he didn't see him, so he thought it would be okay to go farm. Yeah. But it's just such a large minion wave going into the tower. You have to expect that your opponent is going to follow it up there, try and get that farm. Yeah. They do grab the dragon off of this, though. So, it is in their favor. They grab the one death of Jax for the dragon.
Sacrifice for a dragon. It's a pretty good trade, actually.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have to sacrifice someone to confirm that, yes, there are 2 people top lane for Curse. They're out of position. This perfect time for Legions to go ahead and grab the dragon. Wonderful.
Yeah,
nicely done.
Jax going with the gunblade, so the cutlass first. Mm-hmm. So that he can, transition. He might actually just go into a Triforce build, but it does give him that regen against Olaf, where he can continue to abuse that lane. Olaf does have the cooldown reduction build, so he is going to be extremely strong in fights. He also has the Phage, so once he transitions, he could get a Shirelia's, Randuin's kind of Olaf build, which is actually just incredibly powerful later on in fights.
Yeah, and speaking of Olaf, he's also got the Phage, cooldown boots, so that's a lot of true damage coming in as well. Yeah. But it's also not uncommon for Jax to just buy bits and pieces of a whole bunch of different items. Just try and get the best of everything and not really build anything out until you start hanging mid-game, late-game. So there you go. He actually does get the Cutlass active down onto Olaf just for a little bit of harass. It's not the longest cooldown in the world. He'll be back up soon. So there you go. Cruiser Freaker also getting some good ward coverage down to top lane. They may be looking to push soon, maybe possibly try and force Olaf out of lane. But Cop and Elminster just sitting back, waiting a little bit. Saint Vicious, nice with the Oracles, clearing out the freshly placed ward, and Cruiser taking that as a little bit of initiative to go ahead and get a Leaf Strike down onto Westrice. Pops the ult, and then Olaf just walks away.
Yeah, and so the thing that's going to be interesting to me is how fights are going to progress for Legion later on. Saint Vicious has set himself up behind Prolly, actually, and he is probably going to dive this. Ryze is there as well. They pushed up to the tower. Nunu walking right into Saint Vicious, so he gets the headbutt. He's going to get out of there, and he should be okay.
Yeah, so the cover has been blown, unfortunately. Prolly is looking to pursue this route going down onto Nunu. Ryze should be able to get out of here pretty safely. However, his skills are back up. Can he get a little bit of damage on Nunu? He does get the root. Not going to be capitalizing on that one, though.
Yeah, and I'm really curious how the fights are going to go for Legion, because I think the primary idea, if they can get Jax farmed, Jax can kind of run in, draw the attention on top of him. He's going to have the Nunu buff as well. Then when the team is all kind of focused around Jax, because they're a very short-range team, they want to kind of be defensive, allow Curse to walk into them, so they can get the Sona ultimate, then get the Nunu ultimate, get the Rumble ultimate as well, and then clean up the long fight.
Westrice meeting Cruiser right there in the bush. Stun will not be happening. The ult from Olaf is up. Ult from Jax is down. Ignite's going down mutually top lane, but while that chase is happening, probably being dissuaded mid lane. Jax and Olaf top lane will actually split up.
Olaf actually would have had that kill if he had any mana, so he was just a little bit too low. He maybe has enough to kill him. I don't think that he does, so Cruiser should be okay, and then he has that lifesteal as well, so 1v1 he's going to crush him.
Cruiser's ult is back up as well, though, but he's going to be using them all. If he's going to use the mana for it, he would have used all of it on it. More well spent on the stun, but again, though, not getting really anything off of it.
Yeah, so Olaf does have to back off, and again, it just allows Jax to just continue farming in that lane. Olaf has done a really nice job of, farming up to him, and both of them will be very strong in the later fights.
Westrice, though, sticking around the top tower, wants that farm. It's pretty delicious, and he's going to use all of that to go get buy himself something nice. He's actually got quite a quite a bit of pocket change actually as well. As you know, Graves and Rise really need to shop. They're both over 2K. That's going to be a huge shopping day for both of them. And it looks like, Nijaki, there you go. Banshee's Veil straight out. Had the ingredients for the Catalyst, but you can just go ahead and buy the entire damn thing.
Yeah, Graves going to get the BF sword so he can work towards that Infinity Edge.
Oh, yeah. He's going to have tons of money there. There you go. There's the BF. There's the damage. That's going to be a huge boon bringing with him to the bot lane. And he sold this potion. You got to get the Vamp Scepter as well. Just make sure you have a little bit of that life steal. Going to sustain a little bit more in bot lane as well.
I thought you said something for a second. I thought you said wife steal, and I was like, what?
Well,
why would he have wife steal?
He is a pretty sexy man.
Yeah, of course.
He's a pretty sexy man. If
he's the Clint Eastwood of LoL.
Yeah, if anyone's capable of doing it, it's him. I mean, look at that. Look at that gun.
But in the meantime, Legion, they are going to be able to grab that bot turret. There it goes. Mid turret going to go down. The flash from St. Vicious. The pulverize into the headbutt back. Freaker very close to going down, but gets the flash over the wall. So he is going to be okay.
He will manage to get out of there. Albeit a little bit hurt, but nothing a snack or two cannot try and fix.
Only emotionally.
Only emotionally. Well, then again, he is Nunu bot, so I doubt he has actually emotions. But either way, it's neither here or there. Blue buff going to be passed on to Nijaki with that Banshee's Veil on him, looking really good. Going to go ahead and it's really rough to go ahead and get through that spell shield, especially on someone like Rise. If you try and make an attempt, it's like, okay, I'm going to be wasting 2 spells just to go ahead and get through that thing, and he's more tanky, and he's going to deal a whole bunch of damage to me. It's rough to engage on a Rise like that if you're alone.
Yeah, but in the meantime, Alistar coming top once again. Jax should be okay, but he's actually going to walk right into it. And so West Rice starts moving, and Jax, all of a sudden, he's like, oh, yeah. West Rice is running in the same direction as I am. I should probably not go that way.
Yeah, good paying attention still to the lane. And that's a big thing, too. If you sometimes pay attention to your enemy's movements, like let's say if you're in the laning phase and all of a sudden your opponent gets aggressive, it's like, oh, hey, they must have friends nearby. And it's really vital to actually look at what your opponent is doing, where they're moving, and how they act in certain situations. And that is definitely one of those instances.
But at the same time, you can also use that and know that your opponent knows that you have friends nearby.
Yeah.
And bait them in. So actually, a lot of times you can get free harassed by chasing at them, being aggressive. They are going for the dragon, but Alistar and Rise are here. The issue is that Graves and Sona are a little out of position.
Yep, Jax is also making his way down there too, but there you go. Nice. St. Vicious does get the steal, and Sona ult only getting Rise. It's not going to last for long. Rumble ult going down. Nijaki's a little bit split from the rest of the team. Will he be able to get out of there? No, he will not. He does get singled out. The Banshee's Veil can only do so much, and St. Vicious is actually caught out a little bit as well, and he will go down next. Revenge for taking the dragon. However, 2 kills for dragon. That's pretty much an even swap.
Well, and there was the issue with Rise being so short range. They might actually transition into a Baron, and Jax is one of the strongest champions in the game at taking Baron. Ezreal is very strong as well. Nunu, he can get that consumed, heal himself back up a little bit. But Rise, he's short range, and he's going to be in the middle of a fight right in front of all of this AoE damage. It's going to be just massive damage. So he wasn't able to get the damage off that he likes. Baron is going down very quickly. It's at a third. Olaf coming in.
Though, he's running in. He doesn't have a care in the world. Does get the kill onto Jax. He is very weak. Then goes to the kill. Double kill onto Nunu. Triple kill onto the Rumble. Will he be able to triple? There we go. Can he get something happening on Sona? No, he does fall off. The shutdown coming in from Demon Wall. And the True Shot Barrage Elements does not flash either. Nice. Blind fire over the ridge. Demon Wall does get that kill, but it's a double for a triple.
Yeah, I mean, the Olaf, the ultimate, just absolutely crushing him there. And a couple of them were low, but I thought they could still, back off a little bit and have, Olaf go down with maybe only 1, maybe 2 people going down. But they should have been able to transition, kill Olaf fast enough to pick up Graves as well. But really nice job from Curse, and West Rice just crushing there, stopping the Baron. It was extremely low at about 3,000 health left.
Yeah, it was very well done, amazingly well done. Just wandered right in. Didn't have a care in the world. Hey, Jax, how you doing? Smack. It was a done deal. He was taking way too much damage from the Baron. And it was just it was a little bit of a cleanup, but that's what you needed to do in order to go ahead and delay that Baron as much as possible. But we're starting to head into the mid game portion, and Demon Wall, is looking actually pretty good right now. 5-1-2, nearly 200 creep score. He is the most fed in the game right now, right behind Olaf. So if anything's going to be happening here, those are the two difference makers right now in this game. Granted, Curse does have a 4K gold lead, 3K gold lead. There's a lot that Legion can actually do to try and come back from this, and one of them, West Rice, he is on his own right now top lane, and you actually see all of Legion making their way around. They're not going to go ahead for the attempt in the gank, but Baron is still there. I think they may be actually tunnel visioning a little bit on the Baron right now.
Yeah, I think they're actually transitioning
There
to
we
take
go.
that top turret. So, you know, they have a couple of towers already. West Rice actually running, baiting up the team a little bit, probably chasing out St. Vicious.
Oh, there's Night Jackie, though. Probably was a little bit too far out, managed to go ahead and get the grab, waste the ult, but there's St. Vicious right in the middle, but everyone needs to follow up and get there soon. Cruiser around in front, probably does go down first. Will Cruiser's caught between a whole bunch of people from Curse, and then Legion, you're 2 down.
Yeah, and
Curse can't take Baron right now. They can't.
Rise was comfortable in that fight. He was able to, because Prawley was the front line, which you don't want.
No.
Prawley was the front line. Rise turned into him and took him to about half health. And then instead of Legion backing off and just saying, all right, let's not fight this, Prawley is low, they decided to pursue it. And Rumble throwing off the ultimate to try and get his team in range. Unfortunately, he went down pretty quickly. He wasn't able to get off quite as much damage as he would like. And Curse was able to pick up that win.
And it was actually a pretty good split from Curse. Like, okay, guys, Rumble ult's down. Everyone just kind of separate out a little bit. Wait for it, wait for the huge engagement, and then move on in. It was just a real good coordination. Really good coordination from Curse.
Yeah. So in the meantime, we'll see whether or not Legion tries to pressure the Baron again. But Curse, they're 6K gold ahead, 5K gold ahead actually. And a lot of it's from those last 2 fights.
Yes.
And Legion, they were in a great position to force the Baron. They were ahead, and now all of a sudden they find themselves behind. They're going to have to play back a little bit more defensively. They need to be more reactive, allow Curse to be the ones making the aggressive decisions, and then Legion, allow them to run into their AoE. But we'll see what happens. They're actually setting up by this bush here. Try to see if they can pick anyone off.
But there you go. They will be met. West Rice does know they've been caught out. But here comes St. Vicious with the ult, the pulverize, the headbutt. Inubish gets caught out in a very bad spot. Duzzle gets 3 members of Curse down. But there you go. Prawley does get caught out by the Rise. And everyone from Curse, they know their targets. They know who they want to take out first. And now all the options are abound. Slam from Olaf. You got the Cutlass also firing off as well, trying to get some slows down. But there you go, double kill for West Rice right down there. On to the Nunu bot. Demon Will going down next, and it looks like we may have an ace here. We may have 5 for free. There you go. Curse wipes Legion off of the board completely.
Yeah, and they're going to get the Baron as well. And all of a sudden, Legion, this game is just like desperate for them. They don't have enough damage up front with just Rumble to take them down anymore. And that's an issue with Rumble. Late game, he has kind of sustained damage, but he doesn't have the best burst late game. And so when you have tanky teams like this that can just stand up to him, Rise, he can just stand right up to face to face with Rumble, take him down very quickly. And so, I mean, the rest of the team can't really do a whole lot about it. But Legion, part of the issue is the disorganization in these fights, and that Curse, they're forcing the fights. They're forcing the issue. Alistar with the initiation there. Legion was hoping to catch someone out of position, but instead they were completely split as a team. Alistar, had the flash pulverize right into the middle of them.
Yeah, I mean, look at all these tanky items here on Curse. You got the Banshees on Rise. You got the Frozen Heart on Alistar. You got the Frozen Mallet onto Olaf. And you also got Soraka popping, topping everybody off with the Aegis. Just a little bit more, a little bit more help just for everybody if you're in the neighborhood. And Night Jackie, and then also just Curse's presence right now is just more than enough to just go ahead and scare off Legion from any objectives, such as this dragon. And you know what? You got the Baron buff. Go ahead. You might as well use it. Huge damage coming in from Curse. And then you just go ahead and push up bot. They can push any lane they want to, but the thing is, though, they only got 3 minutes left on this Baron buff. Hopefully, they'll be able to get something else off of it.
Yeah, so they one of the things that they're going to have to worry about is pushing into the Rumble ult. But Legion, they don't have a good means of clearing out waves. So very easily, Curse can just push right up this mid lane, and then every single wave takes some nice damage. And you see really quickly, they can't just clear out the waves. So Curse, they get a couple of pot shots. This next wave as well, they're going to get a couple of pot shots and just slowly wear down that turret.
So there you go. Everyone's here. Everyone's either attacking or defending. It's all about this tier 3 mid turret. And every single wave is going to go down a little bit more. Don't think Oh, Olaf, West Rice could actually split away from the group and start to push bot or top even, but those waves are actually really pushed out. I didn't realize there's actually a tier 1 in bot still to be taken.
Yeah, and if that happens, Sona has the Shirelias basically
Yeah.
with her built-in movement speed, so very easily they would be able to initiate with Curse and chase them down, and again, another third of the tower with that minion wave.
Yeah.
So very quickly it's going down. If Olaf was to split, Jax could split with them, or they could just engage with the rest of Curse and win a fight. So there's really no reason. They're just going to
Yeah.
sit together as a team, take this turret, take the inhibitor.
Actually, with this kind of pressure, I think the minions might actually do. The minions are actually going to do a little bit to the bot turret, but the more that the Legion is delayed, the more that they're dissuaded from their own defenses elsewhere in the map. It's just going to go down to its own from the minions. And there you go. You got Rise with the quick initiation onto Demon Wall, chunking him out to about a third. And as that tower goes down, the push continues. Inhibitor should be going down pretty quickly here. There that goes, and it's going to go ahead, break off, look for another objective. There's a Shirelia's pop. I think just making a beeline real quick to bot. They just want to make sure they can go ahead, take down those towers.
Yeah, and I think at this point, Legion knows that's, it's kind of out of their grasp. They can still get into the late game with Jax, and get some more damage on Rumble. So that they have the potential there if Jax really gets fed. But part of the issue is that Ezreal, he's too short ranged against Legion's team. So now because Legion is on the offensive, they can just abuse them. Freaker. Oh wow. So that's the threat that they have to go with. Rise just crushed Demon Lull in the last fight at that turret, and if he ever gets just barely too close, that's going to happen.
There you go. There's the True Shot Barrage just trying to clear the minion wave, but Cursor is going to go ahead and muscle straight on in, tank the turret. Who cares? Keep moving forward. The Baron buff has about less than 30 seconds on it, and I think they did a pretty good job. They got the inhibitor. They got 2 more turrets for the troubles as well. Buff very well used, and St. Vicious actually going the long way around, looking to see if he can't get an engage, if he can't get a nice quick headbutt pulverize onto someone. There goes the speed buff from Sona, trying to make something happen. With all that delay, the turret actually goes down again. Buff is gone. 33 minutes, the Baron will be respawning, but the inhibitor down here, bot wave, should also be going down as well. St. Vicious, nice, wonderful pulverize, headbutt. Jax is going to be going down soon. Sona, the ult just a little bit too late. Rumble ult in desperation, trying to get out of this fight. West Rice being focused down to turret, but he should be just fine. And there you go, Jackie with the kill onto Sona. Wow, I think this might be it.
Yeah, they're going to be able to take this Nexus pretty easily. So 2-1 for Curse. Another engage from St. Vicious probably goes down. No, just barely.
There we go.
There
we
it
go.
goes.
We got it. Curse Cop got it. Still in Fountain. But there you go. First Nexus turret down. Second one going to be going shortly. Demon Lull is back in this fight. True Shot Barrage trying to get that kill on the West Rice, but Cop dashing into the Fountain still somehow manages to go ahead and get that kill. West Rice, the Fountain looks pretty. Might as well just go ahead and just take that dive. Take that dip. Jackie looking to just go ahead and try and make something happen here. Freaker does get pushed out of the ult, but then you got all these super minions. You have this massive push. We can only do so much. There you go. Nexus down. Curse going to be winning this series, a very entertaining series, 2-0, and we'll be moving on to losers finals.
Yeah, we'll be able to take a look at them. So congratulations, Curse. We'll, see who they're going to match up against.
Yep.
It's going to be the loser of MTW and
Dynamic.
Dynamic, that's right. I was trying to think of the last team. MTW and Dynamic, they'll be playing. It is the winners finals tomorrow, and then also the losers finals, as we have the loser of that game playing against this, and then we'll have the grand finals. So.
And all of this starts tomorrow afternoon, 2 p.m. Pacific time. So please make sure you come back, you join us, because it's always a wonderful time to have you here on stream with us. I can kind of hear my voice actually starting to go. It's kind of like
it was gone a while ago.
Really? Okay. I don't notice these things very often. But yeah, whatever. I'll still keep going. But we still got one more day of this, and then the face-off qualifiers will be done. We already know who's going to be going, and which, by the way, if you're in the area, be sure to buy your tickets. IGN.com/IPL. There's a big red button that says buy tickets. If you're in the San Francisco area, do go ahead. Please buy them. Come on down. Have some fun. Hang out with the teams. It'd be an amazing time. But I think for now, we're pretty much done. Let's go ahead and just also take care of everything else that needs to be taken care of. Always be sure to check up with everything we're doing here at the IGN Pro League, at IGN Pro League on Facebook and on Twitter, IPLLL on Twitch and YouTube. And as always, send us your tops, send us your flops. We want your replays, IPLLL replays at gmail.com. Come back tomorrow, 2 o'clock, to watch the rest of these brackets. Anything else? Did I miss
No,
anything?
well, we're also going to throw up a rebroadcast, so check that out.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's it. Thanks, guys, for tuning in.
Okay, we'll see you next time. Good night.